Good afternoon. Welcome to the Jefferson County Post interview with the Republican nominee for the Mayor of Jefferson County, Randy Bales, who is also a sitting commissioner right now for District 7. Welcome. We're glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Warren Stinson at 113 East Broadway in Jefferson City, which is a great place to go for all your dental needs, and Good Old Boys Golf Carts at Highway 92 Dandridge, and they also have a Sevierville location. It's golf time, folks. Get out there and get a new golf cart. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. This is your first on-air interview with us, and we're glad to have you. Hopefully, we'll be seeing a lot of you. And let's talk to start with a little bit about what the last 8 months has looked in your life. Up to here, so for those people who are not politically up to date, Commissioner Bales has secured the Republican nomination in the primary, and it was a pretty highly contested election.
It was. I was very thankful to the citizens that came out and voted. I was very shocked and humbled by the amount of support that I had. And man, I tell you what, between October, when I come out and decided I was going to run, to May 5th, you mentioned what was last 8 months like. It was a blur. I met so many people, trying to, get to know people and gain their support. And it's probably one of the hardest job interviews, I'll call it a job interview, that I've ever had. You can't promise stuff that you can't fulfill on, so I didn't promise anything except to try to do the best that I could for the county and try to work with the commission to develop new businesses coming in, and that's kind of my goals.
So, you've been a sitting commissioner for several years. How many terms have you been on the county commission?
I'll be finishing up my third term, which is 12 years.
So you have a pretty deep background, historical knowledge of what's going on in the county commission, and that should carry you well.
Yes.
Now, there's still another election coming, folks. It's coming in August. It's August the 6th. And that is the final leg of your journey to
secure the office.
To secure the office. And you are opposed. You have an independent candidate who's opposing you, correct?
Mr. Eggers is running as well.
And so right now we're projecting into August, but we're going to project as if August is here, okay? So first, I wanted to talk I wanted to ask you one more thing, and I know this is an odd question, but we get a lot of emails, we get a lot of telephone calls about different issues, and one of the questions that we have been getting regarding this August election is if the local Republican Party, as in the executive party, has stepped up to support you in the August election yet.
I've been to the Republican committee meetings, and they've said that we need to support these candidates, but that's all that's been said, is we need to support. I think Austin is still the Republican chair. He's been extremely nice to me. I have no complaints about him, but as far as supporting the candidates, I've not heard anything about that, other than Levine, when she resigned from chair, saying that we needed to support us. So that's kind of where I'm at. Would love to have the support that they offer, but that's where we're at.
Okay, that has been a question that has been asked because it was such a highly contested primary, and in Jefferson County, historically, the Republican primary is the deciding factor in the offices. Many times, there is no opposition beyond that.
Yeah.
And many times there is no Democrat that is running, and there is no independent that's running. So the Republican who's elected goes in. We are a deep red county. But we had a really shallow vote this past time, surprisingly.
Surprised. Yes, 35,000 that's voters, and we had 7,700 show up.
Yes,
it was surprising.
It was a very, very surprising election.
I would say.
Well, it was, for me, it was very surprising because it was such a hotly contested election. And not just your election. All the county commissioners were up for election. The sheriff was up for election. All your up offices were running and were contested. And so going into this election, this next election is what we refer to as the governor's cycle. So this is the governor's primary. But historically, the governor's cycle in Jefferson County does not produce as many voters. So I guess we'll see. So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, what's going on right now. So the commission just met and just voted unanimously to not increase the property tax rate. So it's at $1.49, correct?
Yes.
And you supported that action, obviously.
Yes.
Do you feel like that action is a sustainable action? That's one of the questions that we're getting on social media. We're getting, is that sustainable?
I believe next year it will be. We've got some stuff that we're working on already before going into the mayor's office of trying to bring some business in, bring in revenue. And I think it'll be sustainable, but you hate to say that because what the expenses come up and stuff like that. But I truly feel like we should be able to next year. I think we had 2 pennies that we give the road commission, or road highway department. It's one of those, and then we put one back for next year to help balance out and make everything work. I believe if the commission continues to work together like they are, and I hope they will, then I think we'll be okay next year too.
So $1.49 is a pretty good property tax rate. That puts us in the lower percentages of the state. But there have been some people who have complained about the property tax rate being too high, and then they complained about it being too low. I'm not real sure what they're wanting. But the question was, and you just answered that you do feel like going forward that we can sustain $1.49. And that extra penny for people, I always reiterate so people understand, when the county commission splits up that $1.49, which is taxed on $100, is your tax on $100 of assessment. When they split up that, they allocate pennies from that $1.49 to different areas. So that's what he's talking about in the 2 pennies. So
I do think on that we went so many years without any kind of increase. I think it was close to 13 years before we had a tax increase, and then we hit the 3 years in a row there, we had tax increases.
Right.
And I think that's why everybody's so up in arms. I'm not saying we should go up all the time, but I think a little bit every now and then is a lot better than the way we had it recently.
So you would be in favor, and I have heard other commissioners say that they would be in favor of an occasional small property tax increase rather than hitting everybody all at one time for a long time.
I also think that bringing businesses in, and I'm not saying dirty businesses or industry, but good clean stuff that supplements the things in the county, to bring that income in or revenue in, I believe that will help a lot too. And if that happens, then we should be able to maintain.
I know that business was one of your large focuses and talking points during this primary, and that you are interested in bringing in clean, good business into Jefferson County for both jobs and for revenue. So we talked about the last 8 months. Let's talk about from August to the first 6 months. Should you be elected, what are you going to do what do you want to do? Because what you want to do also has to be funded and be supported by the county commission. And you're going to have a lot of new county commissioners.
So are you talking about before I take office? Or
no, I'm talking about
first 6 months after.
After office. Let's say you are elected and you are the duly elected mayor of Jefferson County.
I'll be honest with you because it's a fault. That's where I'm going to be. I have a lot of learning to do. I have a lot of connections to make. I'm already reaching out to people at this time at the state level and having some of them reach out to me to help prepare. And working with commission and learning commission as a new commission, I think you said 10 to 13 new commissioners.
Yes.
That's a lot of turn, and we're all going to be new at this. And I think we've got a good commission coming on, I really do. We've got some that have different views than I do, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that's something that brings a different point of view. But I believe that will be good. I believe the commission that we have will be good. So primarily the first 6 months, and hopefully it don't take that long, but I'm sure it will really learn everything that I need to know. but I'm working on that now. And first 6 months, I'll be making my contacts, making sure, seeing what we can do, looking for grants, the whole 9 yards, just going after it full speed. And probably be the first year to really get to where I feel pretty comfortable with that stuff. I'm not worried about it. I know I can do the job, and I know I can make the connections and work with everybody, but that's kind of where I'm at.
You also have a working knowledge of the ins and outs of Jefferson County government. You have been sitting on the funding body for many years.
And a lot of those connections make me feel a lot more comfortable about going into the office. I can reach out to the people that I work with on commission and say, hey, what's your opinion on this? How do we work this? How do we resolve this problem? And work through it.
So let's talk about taking care of debunking some myths. So I'm just going to ask the question straight out. We ask this question a lot. We seriously do. Does the Jefferson County Commission have anything, or the mayor's office, have anything to do with property tax assessments?
Not the assessments. The only thing we do is set the rate.
And
everything else is either done by the state, like we had where they I don't know the exact word, but where they redid everything.
Recapitulations.
And then the property assessment office, they are the ones that assess the properties and the values, and that's out of our hands. We just simply set the tax rate.
And the tax rate is set on the budget. It is not based on if you have excess money coming. It's not based on anything like that. In fact, the county commission declined to take the advantage of keeping the tax rate at what it was. And I apologize, I don't know right offhand, $2 something though. It was $2 something. And recapitulated down to $1.49 to keep the monies coming in exactly the same flat when you all could have chosen to, and that would have been a big bump.
We could have, and then it would pretty much double your property taxes no matter where your property is.
Right.
And that's not fair to the citizens. We need to, we try to be as efficient as we can, and we try to do what's best for the county and for the citizens.
I know that when you came onto the county commission, and I've watched a lot of county commission meetings in the Jefferson County Post over the years, and you have seen some better county, some really strong county commissions. You've seen some maybe not as strong county commissions, but you have lost what I would consider 2 of your stronger cohorts have passed away recently, and it has changed the face of the county commission to some extent. And then you yourself, I would classify, and have always, to be honest, nothing to do with your nomination, I have always classified you as a more moderate or a swing voter. You're conservative, but you have actually gone against traditional thought on some issues. And so I would consider you a swing voter. So you will no longer be sitting there. You've lost 2 who have passed away, and a few have elected not to run.
Yeah.
It's going to look a little different, isn't it?
It's going to be a different atmosphere, but again, even the ones that I disagree with on commission, I think are good. The ones that are going to still be on there, I believe it's a good thing because it brings a different point of view. I don't always agree with certain ones, but it brings a different view, and we need that. We don't need it all one-sided in the commission. We need different ideas, different views coming in. And I really look forward. I've seen the ones that should have it secured. I feel good about them, and I also see the ones that are coming in or that are being contested, and I feel good about most of the lead runners in that. I feel like I can work with them, and that's what I look forward to. I'm working with the commission to bring ideas forward to work. The mayor's office, the main power he has is who he puts on the boards. A lot of those come from the commissioners, and that's why I want to work with all of them. We played around the last 4 years, in my opinion. We messed around and not got a whole lot accomplished. I feel that pretty strongly. We've done some good stuff, but there's been a lot of bickering back and forth from side to side, and hopefully we can resolve some of that, work together, and we don't have to agree. I don't even have to like somebody, but we have to work together, and that's where we need to be, or that's where, as a commissioner, I feel like we need to be, and that's, like you said, I voted one ways, and then some of the stuff I voted a little differently. I think that's what we have to do. We have to look at each individual case and then move forward with that. with our vote, and we have to vote our conscience. If I vote for my conscience, for what's best for the citizens, I go home and I sleep at night. If I go in there with an agenda that's just my agenda, then I think we're hurting ourselves, and we're not elected to do that. We're elected to represent the citizens.
So this is going to be the first time, let's see, we've had our mayors for the past few decades have come from a mayoral position in our county. You're going to be, if you are elected, well, no matter who's elected, that is not going to be the case this time.
Probably be one of the first blue-collar type people that's ever come into this office,
well,
in my opinion.
Well, I think that you come from a different work environment, and you do not come as a representative, as a former representative of a municipality in a government other than as a county commissioner. Yeah. So that's going to be a little bit different.
And if I secure the office of mayor, I'll be the first commissioner, I believe, that's ever won the mayor's office. And with the support that I've seen in early voting, I'm truly humble and thankful for that support.
The truth is, early voting numbers, it was a mandate. I mean, you enjoyed a mandate in early voting, and that's something to be said because it was a highly contested race, and actually, most of the up offices did have a mandate. I mean, in one way or the other, there was a mandate, and so the county came out. The voters who came out, they came out strong. They had their mind tied up and they knew what they were going to do. There's a lot of, I guess, discord among some people, and it's not among every person that has moved in nor that has been local for their entire lives. But there has been a little discord between, I guess, new residents, and when I say new, I'm saying 20 years or less, and residents like you who have been here your entire life. So that's something I think that the mayor's office is going to have to try to balance.
Yes, and I think I thought before we ever started, before it ever became a good old boys versus the new outsiders, hey, we're all Jefferson County citizens. And what's best for the county is best for everyone. It may not be best for one or two people, but overall, it's best for everybody in the county. And that's to me, the outsiders and the good old boys are divisive terms that we need to do away with. We need to work together. I've met some really good people running for mayor's office from out of state, California, Chicago, Michigan. I've met some really good people, and I know a lot of people through my work that's come from out of state. That's just good people. They're here to work. They're trying to better themselves. They're trying to better their families. And I think at the core, that's what we all try to do, or we should do, unless we have a different agenda. And that's what it's going to take, is everybody working together. This outsider and the divisive words that people put out there, to me, is really ridiculous. We're all here to take care of our families and to better ourselves. And if we put that aside and stop worrying about that and work for what's best for everyone, then I think that's where we're going to succeed.
And like you, I'm a lifelong Jefferson County resident. I mean, you know, I went away for school for a little while and came back and dragged my husband with me. And so
he's one of them outsiders.
So he's one of the, he's a 38-year outsider, if you want to call it that. And Jefferson County's changed a lot in my lifetime.
It's changed a lot in the last 12 years.
It has. It has. And so, is there a point, do you think, when we have to look at our growth? And, you know, I know you're new and you're going to have to look at some numbers, and I know you're going to have to talk to some people about what can be done and what can't be done, but there seems to be a lot of discord about growth in Jefferson County. How do you feel? We've grown enormously in my lifetime. We've grown enormously since 2000. And actually, we had a big growth boom in the 90s. And then we had a huge growth boom in the 2000s. And then in the last, since COVID, once again. And as things get more contentious in other states, Tennessee looks really, really good. Jefferson County is a nice place to live. So people are coming here. But it's kind of causing an issue with our children. You have kids, you have a
I have
family.
kids. So the sustained growth, there's several different types of growth we need to look at. Housing growth, we used a formula that Blount County used to come up with what housing, like subdivisions, cost the county. And theirs was $1.23 or something like that per dollar that they brought in. Jefferson County on subdivisions and that type of residential developments, it costs $1.07 for every dollar they bring in. We can't sustain that type of growth. All it is digging a hole deeper. So we do need to look at that. But I think a lot of the growth and the developments are in the city limits, which takes the county out of it as far as the decisions being made. So growth on that side of things really needs to be looked at, because it costs more on the infrastructure, the school systems. It hits so many different things. Businesses coming in and that type of growth, whether it be industrial, commercial, retail, that's the stuff that I would like to bring up to speed a little bit, and not necessarily take up new land, because I want to keep the farm feel of the community and the
You are a farmer.
I am a farmer. I grew up on a farm. Probably not the best farmer because I've been too many irons in the fire,
But you have a family farm.
I feel strongly about taking care of the farmers, very strongly. But the growth that we need is something that's going to help bring in revenue instead of more taxes on the property or on the residents. And that's the type of growth I want to look at. But yeah, we definitely have to look at the growth across the board and try to come up with something that's going to benefit the county as opposed to just costing more. And that's tricky because you got developers, you got, real estate agents. They're advertising all over the country for people to come to Tennessee and come to Jefferson County and Dandridge. And it's a beautiful area, so I understand why people want to come here. But we have to be able to maintain the county. And everybody complains about the roads and everybody complains about the water and all the infrastructure. But if we don't bring in some industry that actually pays something, then we're not going to be able to keep up, and it's just going to get worse. And that's why I focus so much on business and industry and retail, commercial revenue coming in. That's one of my big things that I wanted to, when I was running, I was talking about.
And you mentioned the municipalities. And I assume that having a strong working relationship with the municipalities is a goal.
It is a goal. They have different meetings that I've been trying to go through, the mayor's meetings. I think they do quarterly. I've been trying to go and sit in. You can go as any citizen, you can go and sit and listen and learn. And I've been trying to do that. They basically tell what they've got going on in their areas. And as county mayor, I'll be reaching out to them, trying to work together even more. That's a big goal, making those connections. What can we do to help you? What can you do to help us? I've heard a lot, both ways. And it's a team effort. We can't focus just on Dandridge or even focus on Newmarket where I'm from. We have to focus on the whole county and what's best overall.
Right.
The water issue came up, and truthfully, the county and stuff like that's infrastructure, but we don't have a lot of control over the water. That's the municipalities that do that. So there's a lot of things that we need to work with them on, but necessarily we don't have any control over. So
right.
That's one of the
So a good, strong, solid working relationship is a necessity for everybody.
I think it's a necessity with the other mayors, the business leaders in the county, the commission, even farther up the line towards Nashville, the people up there that can help bring in grants and stuff like that. I think your networking and your relationship is what's going to make the county either grow or kick around the can for another 4 years.
So there were rumors, not necessarily connected to your candidacy, but there were rumors during the primary election that there might be changes in county departments. Do you have any changes on that you can say that you're changing leadership in any county departments or personnel?
So here's I look at management, I want to be able to discuss it, and I'm talking as a boss.
Uh-huh.
If I'm over a department and I have an issue with that department, First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to that person and say, hey, what can we do to improve this? I'm not gonna go in there and cut heads, that's crazy. Those people in those offices have been in those offices. And they know what they're doing, they should know what they're doing. I think most of them do. I've not seen anything that really scares the far out of me one way or the other. But to go in and fire everybody or change out people is, to me, is ridiculous. You've got to find out if they're not doing their job, you address it. And if that doesn't change, then you do. I mean, you don't just go in and say, you're going, I'm moving so-and-so in there. You go in there and you work with people. The county's business is a business, the way I look at it. You have to address the problems if you see them, and I don't want to be aware of them, but you have to address that and then give an opportunity to fix it before you go in and just say, hey, you're not doing it. Well, I'm sorry. And that's just the way I've run my life. I've run everywhere I've worked, that's the way I've been. And even at the house on my business that I shut down last year, that's the way I run it. You work with people, if they're doing their job, you address it, you try to develop it, you try to help them grow if there is an issue. And if that issue fails to be addressed, then you do something. But you don't go in, you give somebody a chance to improve. To me, that's just business.
So, going forward, we are looking at early voting starting July the 17th through August the 1st. So everybody needs to get out, put that on the calendars and go out and vote.
Yeah.
You have several days there, folks. There's no reason to not get out and exercise your right to vote. July the 17th through August the 1st. What this particular election is it's the governor's cycle. So you're going to have your state elections. This is their primary. So you're going to elect your primary candidates. But for our county, this is our general election. And so what you're going to be doing is it's the final leg in sitting a mayor and in sitting a sheriff and in sitting, because all of those offices still run, even if they're unopposed. And we are going to be following, and we will be talking to you again. We appreciate you coming out, and I know you've got a lot going on right now. You're still working your job, so you're still an employed guy who is trying to work a schedule, working a graveyard shift and doing an interview at 9 something in the morning. And we do appreciate that, and we appreciate our sponsors. Thank you very much to Dr. Warren Stinson. 113 East Broadway in Jefferson City for all your dental needs, and Good Old Boys Golf Carts, Highway 92 in Dandridge. And they also have the Sevierville location. And thank you very much.
I would like to thank Jefferson County Post for the interview and give me the opportunity to speak. I'd like to thank the citizens that supported me, and hopefully we can move this county forward in a good way.
I think we're on our way. Thank you very much. I'm going to call you Commissioner right now, but
That's all right.
Come August the 4th, we may be calling you something else. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.